Hello, everybody. Let me adjust this. More centered. This presentation is called Practical Mentalism, and that is one of my books that I'm kind of using as an outline for this presentation. The last sermon that I gave on this subject had to do with how we're blinded, why so many of us are blinded to reality. We're going to move on now to the core of mentalism. How can mentalism help you? Now, when we speak of mentalism, and a lot of people hear that word, they immediately want to think of some hocus pocus, if you will. And that's not, we're not talking about some magic, some trickery, or anything like that. It's a funny name, this concept, but it enables you to live the life you've always wanted to live. The question is how? Well, as the term implies, mentalism is all about your mind. Believe it or not, your mind is an extremely powerful tool. It's an organ in your body, and it is a very powerful tool. It is the metaphysical product of the physical actions of your brain. It exists above and beyond your brain. So we don't want to think of it as just that organ, that gray matter. Don't think that your mind is just a byproduct of your brain's physical processes. It's more than that. Mentalism is about helping people understand how their thoughts impact their lives. With that understanding in place, mentalism helps people to live in the universe, really to be how you view the world, how you see things that are around us. How do you react to things? So to be clear, there's one thing that you fully control, that's your mind. Mentalism helps you to live the life that you've always wanted to live by helping you to fully control your thoughts. If you change your thoughts, you can change your life. Viewed from that perspective, mentalism is about taking control of your life. If you are in any way unhappy, frustrated, or feeling stuck in any area of your life, mentalism can help you to make important changes. We've talked earlier about a detox, a cleaning, and we've talked about how your mind has been pre-programmed from birth and how to detox and to reprogram, and this is all part of that process. Mentalism can help you become more content, more fulfilled, and yes, even more happy. But none of this will be possible if you don't let mentalism help you achieve the one thing that you obviously are struggling with. If you're taking this training, it means that at least one part of your life isn't exactly as bad, isn't exactly a bed of roses. Maybe you've got many areas of your life that you're struggling with. Still, for mentalism to help you, you have to be willing to take ownership of your life. We talked last week about your life being intentional. This is crucial because this means that you have to let go of blaming other people or circumstances beyond your control for whatever you're struggling with. It also means that moving on from the past, understand that you may have had a difficult past Many of us have. Maybe you're a survivor of abuse from when you were a child or from some relationship. Maybe you've made bad decisions in the past and you're feeling guilty about those decisions that you made. Maybe there are certain people around you that create a hostile or toxic environment that really eats away at your self-esteem and takes away your motivation. Taking ownership means letting go of all that and focusing instead of what you can control. Ultimately, when all the dust is settled in your lives, there's really only one thing that you can control, is your thoughts. This is mentalism's bedrock principle. Control your thoughts, and you control your life. Mentalism is actually made up of 5 different beliefs. You have to believe in these 5 principles. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Here they are. Let me list them in brief. Principle 1, all stimuli is neutral. Everything that comes to you is neutral. We'll cover this in more detail. Principle 2, change your mental filters. Number 3, change your mental habits. Change your reality through changed actions. All of these flow into each other, and they're all dependent on each other for mentalism to create the kind of change you have been dreaming of all your life. You have to believe in all these principles, and you have to allow them to work in your life. This is crucial because if you don't believe ownership, unfortunately, if you disavow this process, it'll be very hard for you to take ownership of your thoughts, because in the back of your mind, you believe that it doesn't work, that you're wasting your time, or this is a bunch of hocus pocus. So let this lead us to a very important point that can undermine the effectiveness of mentalism. And that would be the first of those 5 that we listed. All stimuli is neutral. Believe it or not, the world is neutral. It's hard to believe. You watch the news, you watch the propaganda, you read your Facebook timeline. It's hard to believe that the world is neutral. It seems that your boss has it in for you. It seems that people just don't get you, so they say and do all sorts of negative things. Sometimes you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and it seems like the whole world is turned against you. But if you're completely honest and you look at the big picture of what's going on, and you dare to process everything past your emotions, there's only one conclusion, and that is the world is neutral. It may not seem like it, but it is. So here's how it works. Every single moment, you're picking up thousands of signals. These signals are things that you see, that you hear, you touch, you taste, and you smell. In other words, you're using all your 5 senses to pick up all this data from the world around you. This happens every single second. So let me ask you, are you fully aware of all those signals that you're picking up? No, no one is. Your mind is only zeroing in on the tiny fraction of the data that you could possibly pay attention to. It's as if you're looking at the night sky and you zoom in on a corner. That's how your mind works. It's called perception. This is all choice. We covered that. Your intentional life. It's all choice. It may seem habitual because it may very well have turned into a habit, but it started off as a choice. Different people with different mindsets, attitudes, and belief systems choose to pick up on different things depending on their experiences and their background. For instance, if you grew up in a rough neighborhood and you find yourself walking down the street in an otherwise safe neighborhood, I guarantee that you'll still be picking up stimuli from the outside world the same way you did in the old neighborhood. When you compare notes with people who grew up in a safe neighborhood, they probably would be paying attention to other things than you. Your main focus is security and survival. Do you understand and see how this works? We're just talking about perceptions, how you perceive things. We're not talking about giving these perceived stimuli meaning. Focus on a certain set of stimuli. You give meaning to these facts. Not only did you choose what you became aware of, you also choose the meaning of what you became aware of the facts that you received. Again, two totally different people from different walks of life can have two totally different interpretations of basically the same set of stimuli. This is all a choice. It's interesting enough that you choose what set of data to focus on, and then you take it to the next level by interpreting the data in your own way, which is definitely different from the way the next person analyzes the same set of data. This is your mindset. This is your attitude. This is your perspective. Understand, you're not pumped into your brain. People did not force you to think a certain way. Somehow or somewhere down the line, you chose to think this way. Again, it may seem habitual. It may seem like a habit. It may even seem it's just part of your personality because you repeatedly do this. But it all started out as choice. I need you to keep coming back to that point. If you believe that you have a choice, then you have the power over your life. Just as you can choose to do certain things, you can choose to stop doing them and to do something else. Now that you've given these stimuli meaning, then you start thinking about them. And what do they mean? How do they impact you? Most importantly, how do they relate to your personal narrative? Please remember that people always carry around a personal movie script. It's not talking about a physical manuscript that they lug from point to point. I'm talking about their personal story that they keep reciting over in their heads. They keep saying, this is who I am, this is who I am not. This is what happened to me, this is what I'm capable of, this is where I'm going, this is what I've done. And it goes on and on, so forth and so on. This is your personal script. Everybody's got one. It's called your identity. When you break down that identity, there is a narrative, and then there is a script. When you choose to become aware of certain things instead of other things, and you choose to give them one set of meaning instead of another, you plug in what you choose to remember about that particular experience to your script. I hope it is abundantly clear that when you look at all these things that are happening, that you are always in control. You choose what you become aware of. You choose the meaning that you give to the stimuli that you've chosen to become aware of. You choose what you think about. That's a lot of choices. I know it seems daunting, especially if you feel that you have no choice. It's quite frustrating to realize that given the fact that you feel like you're stuck in some sort of a bad movie called your life. want you to keep focusing on these different choice points to highlight the fact that you always have a choice. This was true in the past. This is true today. This will continue to be true in the future. You always have a choice. This is why you can safely say the next shocking conclusion: you are always in control. Everything about you, what you habitually think about, what you talk about, and most importantly, what you choose to do, flow from your choice of thoughts. They all flow from your mindset. They all flow from the mental filter you choose to install. This is control. And I know it's not a very popular answer. It would be great if happiness can come in some sort of capsule or enlightenment. It could be packaged in some sort of a tablet, but it's not that way. The world is neutral. It's your mind that gives it shape, and it's your mind that gives it color. Always come back to this reality. Once you have fully accepted this, everything becomes so much easier. The other four principles of mentalism flow from this one fact. Accept that the world's stimuli are neutral. If you're able to truly believe that, then progress is possible. If you can't, then you're going to remain stuck. You're always going to come back to the negative mindsets that you have regarding you being some sort of a victim. You have to believe that all stimuli are neutral. Without this fundamental belief, no progress is possible with mentalism. So now we're getting to the meat. Now we're getting to the heart of what this is. You have to accept the fact that you make choices, that you are constantly making choices. I touched on this last week, touching on it again now. You are in control. You have choices. Yes, some of these choices you have been told to make, and you've been making them so long you don't think about the choices you're making. They're just habitual. They have become habit. But you have a choice. You can change. You can change those choices going forward. We can't change the past. There's no point in living in the past. We're taking this and learning from the past. We're saying what I have been doing up to this point is not effective. It's not getting me where I want to be. It's not working for me. I'm not happy. I'm not fulfilled. There's no saying that to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results is insanity. And it is. You are in control. The way you act, the way you react, the way you view the world, your thought process, how you react, how you deal with all this stimuli out there, whether it be the lights in a city, whether it be someone standing in line at a McDonald's, whatever the case may be, this music, the lights, the noise, all the senses are receiving all this information constantly, and you're not thinking about it. So the first thing we got to do is get you to think. But we're not going to dwell on that. We're going to move forward, and we're going to start. If you have paid attention to all these little sermonettes I'm delivering, follow this through. I'm going to put them in order. We'll put them on the website. I'll make sure they're in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so you can follow this progression, and you can get to the understanding that, number one, your life is intentional. You were born to succeed. Your life was, you began to be programmed a certain way from birth, but now you're in a position to reprogram your mind. You're now in a position to use practical mentalism. Think. View the world differently so that you will act differently and so that you'll get different results. You can do this. Thank you so much. I will be back with you. Keep watching. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Dr. Kelsey Graham. And I'm going to keep this up. We've got a ways to go and a lot of material, but we want to grow. Jesus talked about an abundant life. Unfortunately, the institutions of religion and school and politics train you to be dependent on outside sources. It's funny that even the conservatives who claim they want smaller government will still run to the government for change. The change is here. You have the kingdom of God within you. We're going to do this together. Thank you very, very much.